Celtic locker room right now. We'll get an update for you as soon as it becomes available as Jason Williams brings it up for the Magic.
And I like what Nate Robinson is doing, pressuring the ball. I think the tone on the ball has been very good by him.
He's got that ability to do it. Great athleticism as Lewis to the basket. Lewis has been quiet. That's just his third field goal, but it puts the Magic up 11.
Those are plays that Rashard Lewis did not do in the first 3 games.
And the Celtics have downsized. Paul Pierce is playing as the 4-man.
Robinson fires a 3, puts it in. He's got that ability. He's always been a good three-point shooter. Again, you look at the way this game has gone. In some ways, it's surprising Celtics are within 8 as Pierce gets a little over-aggressive there. That's his third foul.
But this is the right thing to do. Rashard Lewis, not just a three-point shooter, puts the ball on the floor, makes a tough runner in the paint area. Next time down the floor, you want to play Paul Pierce at the power forward position. They're doing a great job of posting him up.
Shot clock down to 7. Lewis blocked from behind. I think they're going to go the foul on Daniels. Nate Robinson already blocked Howard earlier in the game.
Well, you have to really start thinking of it. I thought he fouled Howard on that play, but he's coming. So if you're Jason Williams, you really want to clear out of that area. Because if you stay in front of the ball and you go into your turnaround, Nate Robinson has good timing, good athleticism.
Well, I know he can jump. He won the slam dunk several times. Were you the coach of Houston where he once blocked Yao Ming's jump shot?
Yeah, and Yao Ming had about 35. All right? So, hey, nice one play.
Look at you coming at me.
No, I'm just saying. You guys had a good stretch of that one play. I think I had a sore spot.
Meanwhile, the word from Glenn Davis, who just heard, he has a concussion, which by the looks of things, certainly not surprising, and will not be back tonight.
And this is what's critical for the Celtics to win this game. You're talking about Davis may be out the next game, or he could be resting, getting ready for the finals. The same with Kendrick Perkins.
Daniels knocked down and a travel call. And not only just a body, but Glenn Davis has played very well in this series. He has been able to score a little bit, his rebounding, and his defense. Now Daniels is the latest player shaken up. And here's the Glenn Davis play. That's the shot that he took and suffered the concussion. And Daniels right now, Daniels can't walk on his own.
But they're not letting him substitute because he wasn't in the box.
Yeah, but if you realize that a guy is hurt, he's clearly hurt and can't walk on his own right now.
They don't want to burn a timeout, so what they're going to do is they're going to commit a foul right on the inbounds and get him out of the game. They already had to burn one earlier on Glenn Davis when he got fouled. So Robinson quickly commits the foul, and now they can substitute. Daniels will sit down. He's shaken up, and Michael Finley will come back in. Let's see what happened to Daniels.
His first third team foul. And for Boston, number 40, Michael Finley.
Let's see what happened there.
But this makes it a very tough cover. You just put another shooter on the floor. Rashard Lewis was able to guard Marquise Daniels because he's not a range shooter. But this is going to be different.
Lewis jumper. Will top the rebound. Reddick for 3. And Ray Allen hauls it in.
This end of the floor is very slippery.
The guys have been slipping the last several times down the floor. Pierce lost it and then got fouled. Petrus called for the personal. First team foul for Orlando. And Rondo comes back in. Finley will sit. Daniels looks a little woozy himself, shaken up. Lady Lessert has been the busiest guy in the building tonight. Robinson pulls up for another 3. 87-78, just over 2 minutes gone by here. Fourth quarter of Game 5, the Eastern Conference Finals. Williams, Redick, and a blocking foul. Celtics with 14 fouls as Robinson picks up his second. Well, they're one away from a penalty with 9:39 remaining. Normally that's not a bad thing against the Magic. They're a poor free throw shooting team, but they've been terrific tonight. Pierce on Lewis. Lewis, tough shot, gets it to go. Good strong move from Rashard Lewis, and the lead back up to 11.
And clearly we're seeing a new Rashard Lewis. Much more aggressive, has his bounce, and looking to score.
Rondo looking to score, can't get it to go.
This is where the Magic got to play faster.
Lewis fakes the three. And again, Rashard Lewis, back-to-back jumpers. The lead is up to 13. Timeout, Boston.
Got to give Lewis credit. Offensive end, hosting Paul Pierce. You want to play power forward, fadeaway jump shot. Outstanding job of scoring. And then the smaller Rondo, pump fake, knocks down the shot. Welcome to the Eastern Conference Finals, Mr. Lewis.
The Orlando Magic trying to force a Game 6 of this Eastern Conference Finals. If they can hang on to their lead, we'll be in Boston Friday night. NBA shoot-around kickoffs our coverage at 7:30 Eastern. Tip-off shortly after 8:30. It would be 3-2 in favor of Boston. And if the Magic can hold on right now, they lead by 13 here in the fourth in what's been a very emotional, very physical game.
Well, the one thing I like about the Celtics team, they don't give up on games, and they're resilient when bad things happen. Here, Kendrick Perkins, his arm slips off Pierce as he's pulling him up and accidentally elbows Gortat for a first technical, and then an emotional reaction for a second technical and an ejection. Then Nate Robinson blocks, but Big Baby Davis gets hit with the elbow across the face inadvertently, and then Markieff Daniels' head goes into Gortat's chest, and
Doc Rivers'
they
team
may not have enough guys left.
been shorthanded tonight with injuries, foul trouble, and ejections. Still plenty of time remaining, but Orlando right now with a 13-point lead. Ray Allen to Rasheed Wallace. Quick shot is good.
He has played so well.
4 of 5 from the field here tonight. 13 points. Jason Williams having his best game of the series. Williams down low to Howard. Back up top. Lewis takes the three, trying to draw the foul. Kicks it out in the corner. Williams for three. Won't go. Rebound taken by Lewis. Lewis making big plays here in the fourth. Redick draws the foul on Pierce, who shoves him after the whistle. And Redick will go to the line. 4 fouls on Pierce. Pierce fortunate. There's the initial foul. And there's a shove afterwards. And instead Redick will go to the line.
Well, if you're going to give Matt Barnes a flagrant foul in the last game for this shove, which I thought was the right call as they upgraded it, this too should have been a flagrant foul.
There's no question about it. If you're a referee in that play, what else are you watching at? What else are you looking for? That's clearly a shove by Pierce.
It puts them in the penalty. That's why Redick is at the free throw line. Takes a pair of free throws, back to 13.
But because the Celtics have so much three-point shooting, it's not like you can count. And that's Rashard Lewis's 5th foul. That's a big foul.
Second team foul, so Boston will inbounds. Gortat is going to come into the game with 8:06 remaining here in the fourth.
Post play is difficult to referee.
Rondo sets it up. Rondo's the high scorer in the game with 19. Had a big third quarter. Wallace not even close. Crowd delighting in the air ball. Williams, 5 points, 5 assists. And foul on Rasheed Wallace. That's number 5. And again, they're in the penalty, so Howard's going to go to the free throw line. Two guys trying to jockey for position. Wallace calmly trying to get it from Joe Crawford. So he's got 5. And again, Perkins is out, ejected. Glenn Davis is done for the night with a concussion. If Wallace fouls out, they'd have to put Kevin Garnett on Howard.
Well, the tough part about it is you got to be able to defend guys on the block. You got to meet force with force. And those, like you talked about, Coach, those are tough plays to referee. But you got to give guys some leeway to try to battle.
Free throw shooting. With 20 of 24. Howard's been okay, 3 for 5. But misses 2 there.
And you wonder when you're down, if you're Doc Rivers, you don't start fouling him right now, Howard, but at some point you may want to start to foul him to see if you can.
Nice play from Jameer Nelson.
Do the hack of Howard.
Or you say not right now, I say why not? He's fresh off of missing 2. He's a notorious bad free throw shooter. I would force him to go to the line again.
The problem is, who's taking the fouls?
They're short-handed enough. There's Allen trying to get on track. 3 on the shot clock. Allen can't get it to go. Howard, his 8th rebound. Got 5 blocks tonight, 17 points, and there's the hack of Howard. As Rondo fouls him. For Rondo, that's his 4th, and Howard's going to go to the line.
And you look on the floor right now for the Celtics, Ray Allen just 1 foul. It would be smarter for Ray Allen to be the guy committing that foul rather than Rondo picking up his 4th. But I like the strategy by Doc Rivers. Force a bad free throw shooter. Let's see if you can give us a chance to get stops and score.
They can do this up until 2 minutes remaining in the quarter. Then the rule changes to an away from the plate foul. Well, then it's free throw and possession of the ball. Howard hit his first 2, but now 1 for his last 5.
And I think if you're Stan Van Gundy, if Dwight Howard does not make his free throws, as we take a look at his numbers, it forces you to put somebody else in the ballgame because you want to eliminate this strategy by the Celtics.
Well, he's 10 for 25 the last 3 games. 40%. All you really have to do is get some splits like this. You don't have to make them both. Give yourself a chance, because the one thing the hack of Howard takes away is Boston's transition offense. So they're going to be playing half-court offense.
Pierce. Wallace, that's a 3. Gets it to go. Big basket there for Wallace. Magic had equaled their largest lead of the game. And once again, the hack of Howard.
That's good offense by the Celtics. Bad defense from the Magic. You don't want a double team. They have surrounded Paul Pierce with shooters on the perimeter and continuing to stay. And this time it's Ray Allen, the guy committing the foul.
And you see Rondo alerting the official to let him know, hey, this is what we're doing. Look at it. So Howard back there to the line. 2nd foul on Ray Allen. Well, you got to love Howard stepping up, trying to knock it down. It's been such a frustration for him at times, his free throw shooting.
Well, it takes all fatigue out of the game now for both teams, because they're going to be free throw shots all the time. So it's not like anybody's going to be fatigued.
Back-to-back free throws. Howard really fist pumped. By the way, Marquise Daniels done for the night. Another concussion for the Celtics. So Davis and Daniels both out with concussions. Pierce on the drive. Wallace fakes, now falls away and puts it in. Wallace, another from downtown. The lead cut to 10.
Tough shot by Rasheed Wallace and another breakdown by the Magic defense. You cannot help off of shooters.
Jameer Nelson answers back. Nelson from downtown, a 13-point Orlando lead.
And I love that shot. The reason why is because you're sending a message. We're not trying to go four corners. We're going to stay aggressive.
Ball deflected by Petrus, but goes to Rondo. Deflected again by Petrus, stolen by Carter. Nice pass, throws it down. Largest lead of the game for the Orlando Magic. Poked away by Howard. And a kick ball with 5 on the shot clock. So they'll reset it to 14 and we'll take a break. Dwight Howard and the Magic have fired up these fans here tonight in Orlando. The Celtics have been great on the road. Here's drives. Blocked by Howard. Oh, Howard again. Barnes again. Likes that corner. Redick for 3. Bang. Pass. Into Howard.
This is the Magic offense that we've been waiting for.
And the Magic, another strong performance, now in control of 15-point lead with 5:47 remaining, trying to come back from down 3-0. Celtics have been in that position before in their storied history, taking a 3-0 lead in the best-of-7 series. They usually wrap it up in 5 games, and if the Magic can hold on, it'll go to 6, and it'll be back in Boston on Friday night.
You know, interestingly enough, coming out of that timeout, Rondo looks at Ray Allen to let him know we're still fouling Dwight Howard, even though he made his previous 2 foul shots.
Garnett flips it up. Nelson the rebound.
And also, Tony Allen, before that timeout, was checking in for Paul Pierce. And Paul Pierce, as Nelson hits another 3, wanted to keep playing.
18-point lead right now for the Magic.
Mistake made because as Jameer Nelson was lifting to that shot, Ray Allen actually fouled Dwight Howard. Got away with it.
Wallace gets it inside with 5:13 remaining.
And now he's hurting.
Wallace grimacing. They foul. Again, Ray Allen fouls Howard. How about Jameer Nelson? Second straight strong game. Had 23 points, 9 assists in Game 4. And here in Game 5, 22 points, 5 assists.
But nobody picks him up because Rondo is saying foul Dwight Howard. Actually, Ray Allen does it in the act of shooting. Smart play by Jameer Nelson.
And Ray did it on his first foul, too. He bumped him instead of wrapping him up and making it obvious.
So Howard back to the line again. At that time, reminder tomorrow night on TNT, the Western Conference Finals, Game 5 from LA. Suns and Lakers all tied at 2 apiece. And then on Friday night, it's starting to look like we'll be in Boston for Game 6. Our coverage will begin at 7:30 on ESPN. Howard 1 for 2 this time. Gets a pat on the butt from Carter. Rondo pushing. Garnett left open. Carter the rebound. Under 5 to play. Not fouling Howard this time. Wallace can. He's got the 5 personals. Now he's done. Wallace is fouled out of the game. Sheldon Williams is going to make an appearance with all the foul problems and injuries for Boston. They didn't like the call. How do you argue that? That was clearly a foul.
And they're clearing the bench right now. But they don't have enough guys to substitute everybody out. And I mentioned this to Mark a couple games ago. I think everybody should be able to dress that's on your roster in the postseason.
There's 15 players on the roster. 12 are allowed to dress every game.
They're taking up spots on the bench. Why not allow them all? It should be a reward. Everybody should be able to dress.
Well, Brian Scalabrine is dressed.
That's not dressing, Brian. No, but I mean, I really think these guys work so hard during the year. Why not let them be in uniform?
107-88.
And these are important minutes for Sheldon Williams. Not knowing, as Rasheed Wallace is now going to the locker room as well, not knowing who's going to be available if it goes to Game 6.
Right, because Davis out with a concussion. If you're just tuning in, Kendrick Perkins picked up 2 technical fouls. That's an automatic ejection, but it happened to be his 6th and 7th technical of the playoffs as Wallace is going back to the locker room. And for Perkins, if that 7th technical holds, he would be suspended for the very next game, which would be Game 6.
I'm going out on a limb saying Kendrick Perkins, for those 2 technicals, he won't just get 1 rescinded. He's going to get both rescinded.
You're right. I agree that should. Initially looking at the first one, I thought it was a clear elbow. Looking at it again, I certainly agree. Both of those should be rescinded.
The league office will look at it tomorrow and make a decision. But again, you don't know his status, what that's going to be with the concussion. He was really shaken up after taking that elbow to the face from Howard, the inadvertent elbow. Lewis falling away. Tough shot. Short. Lost out of bounds. Magic ball. And just this turnaround, it's unbelievable what can happen during the course of an NBA playoff series. How one game can completely swing the perception. After Game 3, Orlando everybody said they were done. They got blown out, embarrassed in that Game 3 loss. But they come back with that good hardcore victory in Game 4. Now, if they hold on and win, the dynamics, the whole mindset of this series will change as Howard stepped out of bounds. Now the pressure starts to shift to Boston to win in their home court in Game 6.
All the pressure will be on the Boston Celtics. No question about it. But give the Magic credit. Found a way to win 1 game and then win another 1 game. Now the mindset, it stays the same. It's not about this series. Win the next game.
You know what, though? I don't agree about the pressure per se. I really think as Nelson fouls Robinson, these guys have been in real pressure games called the finals. So it's not like going home they're going to feel this undue pressure and stress. They're just going to play well. And I think a younger team, a less experienced team may feel pressure. Not Boston.
Agreed, but how about you get in the Game 6, 4th quarter, you're down a couple of points, knowing that if you lose this game, you've got to go back, knowing that you could make history by being the first NBA team to lose a 3-0. I think it might seep into some guys' heads.
I think once you've won twice on a person's home court, look, I don't think home court in the playoffs is as big a factor as Jameer Nelson's doing his Meadowlark Lemonade.
Robinson gets inside. Well, certainly as the series goes on and you have your best teams, it seems to play less. But Game 7 on the home court is usually the factor. Not in the other games, but it's rare that a Game 7 is won by the road team.
And I don't think as a team you're thinking, hey, we were up 3-0. No, you're not thinking that. You're thinking, let's close this team out.
Beatrice short.
Even Paul Pierce said we have to treat this game tonight as a Game 7. Well, you just lost Game 7.
Let's not forget, though, in Boston, it's going to be talked about if it winds up going. They've already had one of their teams, the Bruins, up 3-0 in the NHL playoffs, lose that series. Still a ways away from that, but right now, Orlando in control of Game 5. 107-90. The Orlando Magic in control, on the verge of making this series 3-2 with just under 3 minutes remaining. A reminder, defending Indy 500 champion Helio Castroneves and the stars of the Izon IndyCar Series return to the sport's biggest stage, the 94th running of the Indy 500 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Indy 500 Sunday, May 30th at noon Eastern on ABC. Telecast presented by GoDaddy.com. The Eastern Conference Finals has taken a turn. After Boston going up 3-0, they lost Game 4 and a struggle here in Game 5. Kendrick Perkins picks up his 2nd technical, automatic ejection in the 2nd quarter. Then Glenn Davis takes a hard elbow. suffers a concussion, has to leave the game, does not return. Marquise Daniels whacks into Marcin Gortat, also a concussion, had to leave the game. And finally, Rasheed Wallace, he fouled out, went to the bench, but hurt his back. Suffered back spasms, and he goes back to the locker room. Eddie Lacerte, the head athletic trainer, talking to Doc Rivers, giving him an update, a long update with all that's happened. And Rivers has emptied his bench for the most part. Pierce remains in the game. Lewis back out to Carter. Lewis's shot is good. Lewis has come up big in the fourth quarter. Was quiet earlier and has 9 points in the period, 14 for the game.
I'm going to be very interested to see what kind of game the Magic come with in Boston in Game 6. Are they happy just to have extended it and avoid the humiliation of a sweep, but they won a home game? I'm really interested to see what passion, what determination they play with.
Don't forget SportsCenter coming up next. They're a team that last year made the NBA Finals. They were hungry all year to get back, as Howard can't get it. And you forget sometimes last year the Finals, even though they lost in 5 games, 2 of those losses were overtime. They were right there battling the Lakers. This year was all about getting back to the Finals and taking the next step. And their dreams of a championship seem done after Game 3 of this series. But they are still very much alive, not only to advance, but of making NBA history. And they're a terrific road team. Remember last year in the conference semifinals, it was the Magic who won Game 7 on the road. Now it was different. They were down 3-2, wasn't down 3-0, but they won Game 6 at home and then Game 7 in Boston.
It's just great to watch playoff basketball. You look at the Western Conference, the Phoenix Suns, looking like their life was taken away, playoff life. They found a way to get back in the series, and in the Eastern Conference, the Magic have responded in the same fashion.
Well, an impressive performance for the Orlando Magic as Sheldon Williams is fouled with 1:13 remaining. 3-0, you always hear about it. In the NBA, teams that are down 3-0 are 0-93. Hockey's happened 3 times, including this year. The Flyers defeating the Bruins. So the Boston fans a little sensitive about it. Of course, the Red Sox with that great comeback against the Yankees, but it has never happened in the NBA. Stan Van Gundy saying yesterday, it's going to happen sooner or later. It might as well be us. They still have an uphill battle to climb, though.
He said it was going to happen in his lifetime. Let's hope so. The way he takes winning and losing, I'm worried. Knock on wood.
I was watching that Red Sox-Yankee one. Was that the one where Curt Schilling had to catch up on his socks?
Spoken like a true Yankee fan.
That was a heroic effort by Curt Schilling. I'm being serious now. That was heroic. You don't see that very often.
I agree. The Magic, certainly a heroic effort tonight, finding a way to gut it out and send this series back to Boston.
It's amazing, again, how it can all change. Remember, the Celtics in the previous round against Cleveland, were handed their worst home playoff loss in franchise history, as a foul call on Allen, by the Cleveland Cavaliers. It was such a destruction. They were embarrassed and fell behind 2-1 in that series. All of a sudden, they turned it around, had that great win in Game 4. It catapulted them to win the series in 6, and then the first 3 in this. Orlando, the same thing. Embarrassed in Game 3, looked like they were done, and the one game has infused confidence in them. Now, we'll pull within 3 games to 2.
And with the quick turnaround, you don't get long breaks like you did earlier in the playoffs. Now all of a sudden the Boston Celtics beat up, battered. It'll be interesting to see who's fresh.
But I would say this, beat up, battered, but ultimately very prideful.
Allen. Crowd getting on its feet, cheering here in the final minute. Shot misses, Reddick comes up with it. There will be a Game 6 in Boston on Friday night. The Orlando Magic, back-to-back wins. So impressive tonight. They shoot 51% from the field. Gets 13 threes as Nash lays it in. And all of a sudden, this series that seemed like it was over has become a very interesting Eastern Conference final. Orlando wins game 5. The Magic dreams of a championship still very much alive. Another terrific performance led by their little point guard, Jameer Nelson, who's with Doris Burke.
Well, they're alive, Mike, because the Magic offense has reappeared. How did you guys get it done?
Same way we did last game. Just being aggressive, sticking with our game plan, and playing with a lot of energy.
Rashard Lewis getting a little bit healthier and re-emerging. How important is his performance?
I mean, he's one of the biggest parts of our team. We have 4 guys that's going to touch the ball a lot, myself, Rashard, Dwight, and Vince. And we have to lead the team. We have to lead us. We have to lead us all the way.
Jameer, history says 0-93 for teams who have gone down 3 games to nothing. What is it about this team that makes you believe you can win this thing?
We just all believe. We all believe, and we know we can do it 1 game at a time. We know we didn't play our best the first 3 games. That's behind us. We're just trying to take it 1 game at a time and see what we can make out of this. We're trying to make history, but it takes everybody to believe. All our fans, all our families, everybody. Everybody needs to believe.
Jameer, you just had an interesting conversation with Brandon Bass. What did you tell him?
Well, I just told him to keep his head. He played well for us in the first half, and we went out there in the second half late. You know, I know it's tough at times, but you got to keep your head, everybody. And we need everybody.
Jameer, thanks. Mike?
All right, Doris, it's one of the all-time sports cliches, but for the Orlando Magic, it's all they can do, and so far they've done it. 1 game at a time. They stay alive with the victory in Game 4, bounce back with a tremendous win here in Game 5, and that's where we're going to head to Boston for Game 6 Friday night on ESPN. The Eastern Conference Finals will continue. Tip-off shortly after 8:30 Eastern. Nelson and Howard do it again. The Orlando Magic keeping their hopes alive here, their hometown fans hoping they'll see them 1 more time. A Game 7 would be back here in Orlando on Sunday night. Up next at SportsCenter, this has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Mark Jackson, Jeff Van Gundy, Doris Burke, and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Green saying so long from Orlando. We'll see you Friday night in Boston, Massachusetts.
First quarter, Magic down 2. Howard working the pick and roll off the screen and throws down the big rock. He was 7 of 12 shooting. Later in the first, tied at 10. Big Dwight spins off another screen and just going to work. Freaking kids. JB, breaking down how that worked.
Well, you have to keep a body on Dwight Howard. He's not going to beat you with straight post-ups, but when he gets on the move, going towards the basket, he is a dominant center in the league.
And on the move, how about this? Rondo on the break. Dwight Howard blocks it from behind. That's like LeBron James style. Magic, I don't know, big fella could run like that.
Oh, he got wheels and he's fast and quick, and he had 5 blocks tonight.
Magic three-point shooting. They hit 841 threes in the regular season. Best in the league. Wilbon, I know that you weren't the shooter that JB was, but when a team gets hot like this, it's like no conscience, isn't it?
I can still admire it. And they had none. They got home and they started feeling it really at the end of Game 4. And it kept rolling right on through Game 5.
Magic 9 of 15 from three-point land in the first half. Second quarter, Magic up 54-46. Check out Howard and Perkins. Howard catches the pass. Foul called on Perkins, and then Perkins called for his second technical foul. Guys, really?
Bogus. Yeah, bad call.
Why is it a bad call?
Well, because now you get the second technical, and he's got to get ejected from the game.
And he actually turned around and walked away, and they still gave him a tech. He was ejected. That was his second. Third quarter, Rondo, though, hits a jumper. Celtics down 7. Then Jameer Nelson, 3. Booyah! Magic up 9. Later in the third, Magic up 11. Jason Williams comes up with a steal. He goes all the way. Orlando's night was rolling. Later in the third, Celtics down 3. Glenn Davis guarding Howard. Howard spins and elbows Davis in the face. Mike Wilbon, what did you say before he even hit the ground?
He was out. It looked like Mike Tyson looking for his mouthpiece. It was like a fighter really getting hit, and we found out later it was a concussion. It was exactly that.
Howard's elbow caught Davis in the nose. Davis tried to get up, and he just couldn't. I mean, he was in La La Land.
Nice job by Joey Crawford to recognize that Glenn Big Baby Davis was out on his feet and to hold him up there. But it really did look like Mike Tyson in the Buster Douglas fight after getting clipped.
Davis would leave the game with a concussion. Of course, would not return. Fourth quarter, Rashard Lewis banks inside for the jumper. Magic, his game came alive.
He came alive. He had 14 points. There you see the turnaround off the baseline. I tell you, watch out for the Orlando Magic because Rashard Lewis has waken up.
Rasheed Wallace trying to keep the Celtics close. 3 from the corner. Celtics down 10, but Jameer Nelson was as cool as the other side of the pillow. Just like in Game 4, Jameer killing it from three-point land. The Boston Celtics fall as the Magic hit 13 pointers. Magic beat the Celtics 113-92. Jameer had 24 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Dwight a double-double, 21 points, 10 boards, and as Magic Johnson said, the